Hi everyone, welcome to today's Reflect and Revive. My mom, Chris, asked me to do this today. So for those who don't know me, I'm Kristin McNew. And while I was trying to figure out what to speak on today, I came across this question in my Bible app, and it actually asked, what will your 2020 legacy be? And I was thinking of all the terrible things that has happened in this year as a country and as an individual, just like myself. And I was trying to figure out who in the Bible I could possibly relate that to. And, I had all these choices, but I couldn't get a piece on anything until I came across Peter. And a lot of you know, and a lot of you don't, but in 2019, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. It's an autoimmune disease, and I was in and out of hospitals, losing a ton of weight, and just overall becoming a recluse by the beginning of 2020. And in that difficult time, I would pray, and ask for healing, flat out miracles, and I would get no answer. And I honestly felt like I was running out of options and just felt like I was withering away. And in 2020, like I said, I was becoming a recluse, and I really started to doubt and question the Lord. And in 1 Peter 2:9, it says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." In that verse, it literally says that we as Christians should be set apart. And if you view this year as a test, on how you handled yourself in situations, how do you think you honestly did? If I was honestly being graded by the Lord, I think I would have gotten a big F, because honestly, I didn't do as well as I should have. I did what a lot of us probably do, is I cried about, my situation and circumstance. And I think in the same way, Peter let his circumstances overwhelm him, because in Luke 5:4-6, it says, "When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon Peter, 'Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch.' Simon answered, 'Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets.' When they had done so, they had caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break." In that moment, when Peter literally said, we worked hard all night and haven't caught anything, he doubted the Lord's ability. Plain and simple, you can see it in that verse. Don't doubt the Lord's ability. Don't doubt what he can do. Take those thoughts captive and actually do something about your situation and circumstance. And when I say do something, that doesn't mean to take it in your hands and do whatever you want with it. That means to pray, intercede, and change your mindset, and don't doubt, because that's all we can do, and that's all we really should do. And that's exactly what I did. I changed my mindset, when I was going through what I saw as a difficult circumstance for me. It honestly took my mom sitting me down and us crying it out, me getting angry at the Lord, me getting angry at my circumstance, and just telling her that, or her telling me that I was letting, my circumstance just take hold of my life. I was letting the devil just place that seed of bitterness against the Lord because of what I was going through. Another thing we tend to do in tough situations and circumstances, we tend to lose our faith. When we doubt, like Peter did, in the last verse, it becomes really easy. It becomes so easy for us to lose our faith. In Matthew 14:28-30, it says, "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come onto the water." "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me." Peter did not have faith in the Lord to stay afloat. Like I said before, I began to doubt, and I was struggling with this new disease, and over time I was beginning to lose my faith. Like I said before, I was praying, and I wasn't getting that healing that I was praying for. I wasn't hearing from the Lord even. I would go to church and I would feel nothing. And honestly, I got to the point where, my thought process was, I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything wrong. Why is the Lord punishing me? And I think Peter somewhat went through the same thing. You know, when he was sinking in the water, he's probably thinking like, I don't deserve this. You know, that was probably going through his head. He was a disciple of Jesus, an apostle, and yet he was sinking in the water when he had Jesus right in front of him. When we realize that we are in spiritual difficulties, our first action must be to call upon the Lord. It's a lot easier said than done, but He alone can save. The Bible does not promise an easy walk, but a secure one. Our trials are only guaranteed to end when Christ has walked all the way into heaven with us. You know, so don't lose your faith in your circumstance. Call upon the Lord because He has carried you this far. Another thing that you need to bear in mind is know what you put out, know what you're showing the world. In 2 Peter 1:15 it says, "And I will make every effort to see that after my departure you will always be able to remember these things." Peter knew his end was coming, and yet he still strived to leave a legacy. You know, he ended up being martyred, which he ended up being crucified on an upside down cross because he didn't feel worthy enough to die the same death as Jesus did. But he still strived to leave that legacy, and if we really think about it, what is modeled is most remembered. You know, I think about what I showed the world in 2020 as I was going through, you know, what I was going through, and if I'm being honest, I'm not proud of it. It wasn't what it should have been. You know, as a Christian literally means to be Christ-like, and I wasn't showing that. And a lot of people knew what I was going through, you know, at the church and everything. But if it's someone looking from the outside and seeing me and knowing that I was a Christian, you know, it wouldn't have lined up to what the Word says and what Jesus expects us to be. And you know, I really failed at 2020 leaving the legacy that I should. So if your 2020 legacy wasn't all that it should have been and all it should have cracked up to be, you still have December left. You still have 2021. You know, don't lose your faith. Don't doubt, and know what you show the world, and truly make a difference. And honestly, like, don't let your situation overwhelm you, because the Lord has got your back. Because I don't know who said this, but it's literally a fixed fight. You know, you're going to come out victorious in the end. Like I said, I was praying for healing, and healing didn't come, you know, in the time frame that I thought, but I still ended up with that healing. You know, I'm not 100, and nor will I ever be, probably, but I'm okay with that. It's the healing that the Lord wanted me to have, and I'm sure you can have that too. So if you can, just where you are, just bow your head with me. Lord, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for everything that you've given us. I pray for that you just strengthen and empower my brothers and sisters in Christ. I pray for that you just continue to lead and direct their path, and that their 2020 legacy will just be, or 2021 legacy will be everything that you have called them out to be, Lord, and that they won't grow weary in their praying and interceding into you, Lord, that they don't lose faith and that they don't doubt, Lord. And I just pray for that you just lift them up in everything that they are. In your name I pray. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope your 2021 legacy is what the Lord wants you to be and become, and that you will grow strengthened in Him. Thank you very much. Love you guys.